Welcome back to Now. No opportunity wasted. I'm your host, Angelica Ross. Today is October 7th, and today's word from Buddhism Day by Day, Wisdom for a Modern Life by Daisaku Ikeda says, quote, if you remain sincere in your interactions with others, you will one day find yourself surrounded by good friends. And among those people, your friendships will be as strong and unshakable as towering trees. Don't be impatient. Work first on developing yourself and rest assured that an infinite number of wonderful encounters await you in the future. End quote. I think a key phrase in that quote is if you remain sincere in your interactions with others. I know a lot of us are going through a lot of changes in our friend circles. So I think that this has some good advice. Maybe we can let go of the expectations of how others should show up as friends and focus instead on just us staying sincere on how we show up for others, focusing more on developing ourselves to be better friends to ourselves and to each other. I believe that if we do that, one day you look up and you'll notice you're surrounded by some pretty amazing people. But on the other hand, if you find yourself being insincere with your interactions with folks or manipulative or not forthcoming about what your true intentions are, then your environment will inevitably become a reflection of what you're putting out there in pursuit of people liking you. This is very important to pay attention to what you really want out of relationships and your friendships with people, and be willing to align your intentions with your actions and be accountable if you want to be able to count on others. Speaking of accountability, to all my winners and my listeners out there, sorry we did not have an episode last week. I needed to take a little small break. To be honest, there's just so much going on, and I am doing my best to be as transparent as I possibly can about my journey, especially because this podcast is about making the most out of life's opportunities and challenges. But I've also learned that timing is everything. So rest assured, I will continue to share some truly life changing lessons that I've learned from the challenges that I've been dealing with. But I'm just being extremely mindful about the timing, not just about the like right time, but more so about allowing me the time to process and to be extremely intentional with the ways that I choose to respond. Anyway, I had a wonderful weekend up in Ithaca, New York, speaking at Cornell University. And the trip started off a little rocky with me missing my connection flight from JFK to Ithaca. But fortunately, I was in good company. I had my hairstylist and my girlfriend with me. And I also had a small breakdown, but I kept it cute. So, I also had a therapy session that was, originally scheduled for when I was supposed to land. But now that I was stuck in JFK, I was able to take that appointment in the Delta Sky Lounge. Shout out to Delta, who really took care of me and my crew, got us all rebooked. We had to be in that Delta Lounge for like 7 hours. So everybody knows as well. But um, you know, it was it happened. I still got to go to my thing and we got to know each other a little bit, a little bit more. You always get to know people a little bit more, when stuff starts to go left. But overall, it was a great trip. And I got to do a little sightseeing in town, found this beautiful Black Lives Matter mural that was under this bridge. I got to yell, free, free, free Palestine, as I was passing a local protest that was calling for a ceasefire. And then later that evening, I had a really powerful conversation with the students, the faculty, and the staff at Cornell University. And I plan to share some highlights from that conversation here on the podcast in an upcoming episode. But for now, I'll just say I took the opportunity to address that Cornell is currently in the process of trying to deport one of their students back to Africa for protesting Palestine and this genocide and asking for a ceasefire and divesting from Israel. What made matters worse was that the Black students all communicated to me that they've been upset, and there's been upset, rightfully so, because they were in a meeting with, Cornell University with the students and their parents, and basically told them that due to their freedom of speech policies, that a member of the KKK would be allowed to be brought to campus as a speaker. But catch it, the student that they're deporting doesn't have access to that free speech that they speak of. But catch it, that student does not have access to the free speech that they speak of. I found it incredibly offensive that Cornell would give more rights to the free speech of the KKK than it would to their own students. But again, I'm going to go into that more in the next episode. But today, I'm sharing my hilarious and heartfelt conversation with Dr. John Paul and Jordan Daniels, hosts of the Black Fat Femme podcast. Take a listen. All right. Thank you again to Dr. John Paul and Jordan Daniels for just being so candid in our conversation. It was amazing. If you haven't already subscribed to their podcast, what are you waiting for? It's always a good time. You learn something. And be sure to pick up Dr. John Paul's book, Black Fat Femme, Revealing the Power of Visibly Queer Voices in Media and Learning to Love Yourself.